Let's see if it is. It's preparing a live stream. Everybody has their cameras on. And we have a lot to cover today. So we're ready. Okay. Being live streamed, we're here. Okay, everybody with me? Let's hear. Okay, couple of things. Housekeeping. Monday's class was canceled due to observance of Yom Kippur. That was a Jewish holiday. So what I'm going to do is this Friday, you can put it in notes, is this Friday from 5 to 6, I'm going to do somewhat a makeup session. Also, you can come with any of your questions to me. I'm going to give you a homework assignment for next week. If you have any homeworks that you want me to go through, I'll go through it. Any questions about that? So in Zoom, in the Zoom meetings, put a note that this Friday, did you hear that, Patrice? This Friday at our time at 5 o'clock, 5 to 6, I'm going to be doing makeup session, and basically we'll be able, it'll be ask Dr. Rush anything, any help that you have, anything that you have questions about. Okay, this Friday, number 1. Number 2, on Monday, October 9th, we have an exam. Mackenzie, the exam is in person. It's going to be in the SBA 204 lab. We'll go over it again. We'll be in the PC lab. Now, how many people have used Respondus before? Raise your hand. We're going to do backup and recovery. We're going to be doing the exam on the computers in the PC lab on the second floor of the School of Business. But guess what? We could have problems. Would that be unusual, Beatrice, to have any problems with technology? So what is required is that you all bring a laptop with Respondus already installed in your laptop. So when you come to the class, you'll bring a ID, plus you'll bring your laptop, so in case it doesn't work. The exam is 2 parts. There'll be multiple choice and there'll be essay questions. I'll do a review for you starting this Friday, and on Monday I'll be doing a review. I'll be giving you a study sheet of what you need, what will be covered, and also going over the open-ended questions. We'll even start today talking about what could possibly be the open-ended questions. So I'll give you possibility of 3 or 4 open-ended, and I'll choose 2. Those of you that have special accommodations, need extra time, we will do that with me. I'd rather you spend the time with me rather than in another office. This way, if you have questions about the exam, I'm not quite sure about this question, this was not clear to me, you have me there personally, physically there. I like to be able to do that rather than you're lost somewhere else in space, and when you ask a question, they're not able to help you. So that is what's happening now. Any questions? We're ready to begin. Michelle, BJ, and Jonathan, and ways to do that.
Dr. Rush?
Yes.
So the exam's going to be on all the Wiley Plus chapters that we've read?
Exactly.
Okay.
Chapter 4 is the last one. So I'll also do, probably on Monday, I'll go over chapter 4 as well, and then I'll do a review next week. I'll be doing reviews on everything. Okay, does that answer your questions? I want you to be prepared that you may not know all the answers, but I don't like it when I myself have an exam and I said, oh, if I knew that was on the exam, I would have studied that. Right? You may not know it, but you'll be well prepared. Okay, so let me share my screen with you. Before even I do that, who has a Windows machine that you're using now? Raise your hand if you're on Windows. Anyone? Dimitri, you're on Windows. Nicholas is here on Windows. Okay. NinjaTrader that we're going to be using now is available on a desktop. So what I want you to do is, Dimitri, you want to share your screen with me? And I'll show you how to, have you downloaded the NinjaTrader on your desktop?
I haven't
Okay,
downloaded it.
so let's start off with that. So share your screen, Dimitri. We'll have everybody's here using it. And Beatrice, do you mind monitoring the chat? If there's anything, Enrique, do you have a question? Okay. So this is yours. Okay. So let's go to a browser and let's go to ninjatrader.com. This is just for anyone that has Windows. Okay. Now, in terms of when you see get started, click on get started. And just go slow with me. I'm slow, and so everybody can do it. Sign up with an email. Perfect. We've done that. Now, what we want to do is stop right here, Dimitri. And this is for you, Nicholas. Who else has Windows? Anyone else that has a Windows machine themselves? You see, I don't want to open an account, Dimitri. I don't want us to worry about any money. We're not using anybody's funds here, right? I don't want to be under a bridge with you, you know, when we lose all the money and then everybody's, trust fund is coming after me. Okay. So it says not ready for live trading, start a free, risk free. Click on that. Now just put in just your information there, Dimitri. Okay, continue. And at this point, just do a favor, right? You see on the lower left-hand corner, you see that download or click on that download. Now this is, stop right there. If you download this most recent release, you have to log in each time. For our sake, you don't have to bother with logging in. So you see on the upper right-hand corner, everyone, the prior releases, version 8, that is what we have in our virtual desktop infrastructure. So click download of that, the 8.0.280, Dimitri. And just install it so we can see that it works. So that's the issue, right? And you can go through it, right? The next, the wizard, right? You know it. And the agreement, right? Next. And install. We're using a software platform, you remember, where this operating system only works in Windows. So the way that we're going to be using NinjaTrader are 3 ways. One way is through VDI. And what does VDI stand for? Virtual Desktop Infrastructure, the way we got in before. If you have Windows Native or you have Windows Parallel, you can download it this way. Or in this case, the labs in the School of Business, the PC labs have it installed in the computer. Now, you can see right here, you can minimize this. You can see right here, this is a difference, Dimitri. You remember when we were doing it last time, it was 64-bit or nothing. This is 64-bit. So now click NinjaTrader on your desktop. And we'll see if it works. See how it says, Dimitri, simulated trading? Now you got an error here. Oh, because you basically tried, I think you clicked twice, but let's see if it works. Initializing the database. And what we need to always do is, in this case, allow. Now at this point, connect to live data. We don't want to connect to live data, cancel it. And we want to just skip it. And this is the screen that everybody's going to get. This is the control panel. You can close this out. They give like instructions, help. You can close out the market analyzer. A lot of screens are going to be popping up. We just want to keep the NinjaTrader new. So close out everything, Dimitri. Close out the chart. We'll use it later on. Close out the getting started. Exit out of that or close it. Okay. This is what everybody's going to get. Dimitri, you're going to work with me a little bit here, okay? And then we'll go to the VDI with everyone. But at this point, this is a software trading platform that if we have strategies with instructions already, the software will execute those strategies, whether we're going to buy or sell. So in this case, the one thing that we always want to do is we always want to connect to data to be able to use all our big data. So Dimitri, what do you think you need to go? You need to go to connections. We want to go to something that's free and simple. So we want to go to kinetic end of day. Did you click it? Connections. Go back and see if it's there. Go back to connections for me, please.
I clicked it and it made a noise. So that means I'm connected.
What?
I clicked connections and then it made a noise. So I think I'm connected.
Well, go again. Go to connections for me. Move your cursor to connections. Okay, end of day. Right, and you see that little green bubble there? It means that you're connected. So now if you go to new, chart, because we want to visualize it, go to selection of instrument, and let's do NASDAQ 100, and let's pick the first one, Apple. Click on Apple, and at this time, what did we do for connection? And this is for everybody to make sure that we understand. Put this in your notes. Whenever you're going to do the connection, we're doing end of day, and under Apple there, it says what in parentheses, Dimitri? Right there, under applied, the word apply.
Did it say 1 minute?
1 minute, right. And we don't want 1 minute data because that's not what we asked for. So go to type. You see under properties where it says type, pull that down, Dimitri. And what do we want? Day. Perfect. And now you want to say, okay. And now comes up a chart. It's loading. And if you go backwards in time, go back. Now we're in the end of September, right? It's basically a whole year. Now go forward. And you can see the last days. If you go to that arrow, you can even make yourself a little crossbar, but on the very top, but you can see there, what's the trend looking like from the end of August to now? It looks what, going up or down, Dimitri?
Down.
Down. So we want, ideally, we would want what? That the algorithm would tell us at that very top, right? To do what? To enter the trade and do what? To bet it's going down or bet it's going up?
Bet it's going down.
Bet it's going down. And what they call it is they call it short. So put in your notes there, short means I'm betting it's going down, or the system or the computer's betting that it's going down. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at strategies to tell what's happening. Perfect. So now, Dimitri, and anyone else with the Windows, instead of doing the VDI with me, you can use this. You understand, Dimitri? But there's no reason for you not to be able to use the VDI. And you have some, if you're not on your computer, you know that you can go to the VDI and have it. Okay, perfect. So can you stop sharing and then I'll share. Thank you, Dimitri. Okay. And did everybody see that? So you can have it. So everybody have their camera work. So now what we want to do is we have something called VDI, which means what? Do you have any idea? that virtual desktop infrastructure, what does it mean and who cares? Right, Patrice? That's always what I'm asking, is not only that you memorize words or acronyms or whatever, but what are we going to use that for? So let me share my screen. And let me go to my windows here. Let me just move, and you can see yourselves, right? Everybody's on, always on camera. And now let me go to basically a couple of things. Let me go to my web links. And in my web links, you see that I have something called VDI. In what's due, this is going to be, we're going to work on this today. ATS stands for Automatic Trading Systems. We're going to work on back testing and automation. And in this case, you can see here that I asked you on the today, I asked you to look at this article. So if everybody clicks on this article, you can look when I'm doing it. You can see that this is an article which is what is a virtual desktop infrastructure. So people that were asking me, what could possibly, I'm going to give you two questions. What could possibly be two questions that I could ask you? One is, what is a virtual desktop infrastructure? What is virtualization? How does it work? And what is it used for? And give me, what are the benefits? And what are the disadvantages to it? And where can it be used in business? Have you ever seen this VDI, Dimitri?
Have I ever used a VDI was the question?
Yes. Did we ever use it in class?
Yeah, once before.
Yes, using NinjaTrader. And the idea when we're using NinjaTrader, we have to ask the question then, Enrique, is what's the advantage of using this virtual desktop? Do you have any idea?
I don't.
Okay. Were you here in the last class where we got to NinjaTrader before? Enrique.
I wasn't here, I think.
You weren't here? When were you not here? You weren't here last
Last class
Wednesday?
on Wednesday, yes.
Yes, you were here last Wednesday. And what did we do? We basically used the software program. You remember? Enrique? Yes or no?
Yes, I remember now. Yes.
Okay. In order to use that software program, you need to have a native, what we call native. You have to have a Windows operating system. What machine do you have, Enrique?
I have a Mac.
A Mac. Right now, natively, Mac has Mac OS. It does not have Windows. So the software does not run natively on the Mac. So in order to use the software, what we did is we basically went into what they call a virtual desktop, meaning we went into a system where we can use a Windows machine via the internet set up as if it were our own desktop. Do you understand that, Enrique?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's what a virtual desktop is.
Perfect.
Now, I also, let me just go back. So you need to read this article, everyone, for the basics and think about when did we use it? What's the advantage to use it? In this case, if I think about it, Beatrice, what's the advantage to use it is what? Is that if our group does not have Windows, let's say globally, you could set up a virtual desktop infrastructure and have everyone in the group use Windows. Do you understand that, Patrice? What's the disadvantage? Patrice, do you think?
That it's not actually saving on your computer because it's just a
Well,
virtual
if
thing.
the internet goes down, we may have lost our work. Also, it's slow. Also, I need to get the internet always working. So there's disadvantage. And it's going to be slower than what, in this case, Dimitri's using. So Dimitri, you're probably, we'll see. Dimitri, you use yours and see if yours is any faster. But most likely, he can do a lot of the work without doing it. That's the virtual desktop. Now, if I go back, and you see it, we also had these articles that we needed to read too. There was no class on Monday, but I asked you to read these articles. And one of the articles that you need to read then is the basics of algorithmic trading, the concepts and examples. And that basically is, we need to know what is algorithmic trading. Sometimes it's called automated trading. Sometimes it's called algo trading. And it uses a computer program that follows a defined set of instructions. It's an algorithm to place a trade. So if I think about that algorithm to place a trade, then what's my idea here? Can you hear this?
An algorithm is a step-by-step procedure to accomplish a task. Algorithmic trading is the process of using computers programmed to follow a defined set of instructions for placing trades in order to generate profits at a speed and frequency that are beyond a person's capability. For example, suppose a trader wants to follow two simple trade criteria. 1, buy 50 shares of a stock when its 50-day moving average crosses above its 200-day moving average.
Now, Ella, do you know what a moving average is?
I guess just like that, just like
Okay,
50 days.
okay, your audio's a little bit weak. You want to try again?
I said just like the average, like
It's an average. You know what an average is. If I have 10,
Yeah.
if I have 10 days, right? If I have 50 days, right? I take the average of each day, I can get 1 point, right? But if I have a moving average, if I have 10,000 days, Ella, basically what I do is for every 50 days, I take the average and then go to the next part. Every part is 50 days. And it's a way for me to smooth my data. This is 200 days. So every 200 days that I'm doing this. Now, if I look at this, we say the smaller number is what we call the fast. It means that I get to the point in a faster time frame than the larger number. So this is called fast 50-day, and 200 is slow. And basically my algorithm, Mackenzie, says when my 50-day moves above my 200-day, I give it some type of execution. And in that case, this algorithm says buy. You understand that, Mackenzie? So we're going to buy. Now we could look at this, and when this blue line crosses over this yellow line, we could look at it, and actually me and you could be able to say, okay, you buy, and I tell you, Mackenzie, we both buy. The problem is I want the computer to keep on doing it. I don't want to look at the screen all day long. Do you? I don't for days. So we're going to be able to do that. So what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to, the computer is going to tell you when to get into a trade and when to exit a trade.
2, and sell the stock when its 50-day moving average goes below the 200-day moving average. A computer program can follow those instructions, as well as monitor the prices, and then place the orders when the conditions are met. The trader doesn't have to do it. The algorithm trading system does it. Algo trading provides many benefits. Trades are executed at the best possible prices, as well as instantly and accurately. Transaction costs and the risk of manual error are reduced, and algorithms can be back-tested on historical data.
Okay. So basically now if I'm looking at this, George, the computer's programmed to tell me when to enter the trade, when to exit the trade, and what we're gonna do, put this in your notes, is we're gonna need to know what back testing is. Back testing, everybody can put this in your notes, uses historical data to check how the algorithm would have done had we actually executed it. We want it to be what, George? To generate profits or to do losses? George, what do you think?
What's the question?
The question is, do I want to have my algorithm generate profits or generate losses?
Generate profits, right?
Of course, generate profits. If it generates losses, I don't want to execute those, right? I don't want to lose my money faster than I could lose it myself. I want it to be able, so that's what we call back testing. And that's what we're going to do today.
Conditions. Most algo trading is high-frequency trading, which attempts to capitalize on placing a large number of orders at very fast speeds across multiple markets. There are many strategies, most of which follow trends in moving averages, channel breakouts, price level movements, and other technical indicators. Risks include system failures or network connectivity issues.
So we know what's positive, Dylan, that it's going to basically do this for an individual or for a group of people. It will automatically make the trades, make them quicker. I can review them and improve them. So I know the pros. I need to know what are the cons. The cons would be system failures. What do we mean by systems failure? Dylan, what do you think? What's a system failure? Give me an example.
System failure could be like the device is not working correctly.
Right. Have you ever has your Wi-Fi always worked 100%?
Never.
Never, right? That's a system failure, right? All of a sudden, the program says, now let's buy, and it can't buy because we don't have Wi-Fi. So that can be, we can have network connectivity issues. We can lose our hard drive. We can lose our connection. So that's a risk. If I'm automating it, I could be in the middle of a trade. I bought, but now the system says sell, and then all of a sudden there's a big earthquake and I can't sell, or there's a hurricane.
Maybe time lags between orders and execution, and an algorithm can be imperfect. The more complex the algorithm, the more backtesting it requires. Despite the risks, analytical traders should consider learning algorithm programming.
Okay, so that was what we wanted to do, is we wanted then to be able to, that could be one of the questions here, and now that's what we want to do for our next exercise. Everybody with me? So Lauren, how you doing? Everything okay? Yes?
Yes, I'm good.
Good. So if you can be so kind and also look at the chat in case there are any questions, and remind me if there are any questions that I need to address to the class. Okay. And Nicholas, did you download the Ninja Trader on your machine? So great. So you can work on that side too, and you can help me. Okay. So then the thing that we want to do then is we have 2 exercises to do. I hopefully will be able to show you. If you follow me, that's fine. If you have problems, that's okay. We're recording this, number one. Number two, Friday, I will be from 5 o'clock. Just go to the Zoom meetings and I've arranged to have another Zoom meeting. So if you have any problems with this exercise, it'll be my pleasure to help you because I'm in everybody's group. Okay, so everybody with me so far. So let's do this. Let's try to do then the first exercise. And one of the things we're going to do is then create a another folder called trading strategies. So under that, we're going to do our first exercise is going to be back testing. So if I now share my screen, and in this case, I want to just get out of this, right? So you can see here that this is basically the trading concepts, and now we're going to try it out. So in order to try it out, you can go to, there's many different places, but you can go to under announcements, and you'll see under announcements, we have the link that uses, you see here, WVD. So it's basically Windows Virtual Desk, and everybody click it. And we'll see if it works. Luca, did you get it? You got it? Yes? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, under that, you'll see then it's Azure. Azure is a product by Microsoft that is basically what they call cloud services. It's basically doing those services, basically using computers that Microsoft maintains. And we have something called Student VDI. And if I asked you, what is the, you can access local resources, I'm just going to say allow. And now it's connecting via my credentials. So Mackenzie, if I were asking you, what's the disadvantages of VDI, is that somebody has to put in all the credentials, right? Otherwise, for instance, if I think about it, Dimitri, you didn't have to put any, you put in your credentials once, but that's enough. So I'm going to submit. You put in yours, I'm putting in mine. And it's going to a desktop, particularly for me. Your desktop will look a bit different. When you save an Excel spreadsheet, for instance, it will persist on your desktop, not on mine. So these are all my Excels that I've done in the past, but we all have two versions. And notice here, Dimitri, you only had one version in the VDI, they have two versions. And in Kent, which version do I want to use, 64-bit or the regular one?
The regular one?
Hmm?
The regular?
Do I want to use 32-bit or 64-bit? I want to have this much. In this case, I want to have use the most powerful because we're going to be doing a lot of analytics. The regular one is 32-bit. The other one says 64-bit. So Kent, which one should I use?
I use 64 one then.
64-bit. So everybody click it one time. And we'll see if it works. Sometimes I also just like to say open, see if it'll work that one. Right click and say open. And notice it says here, NinjaTrader simulated trading. We do not, Dimitri, of course, we do not want to run these systems with, we want to simulate it. I don't want to just put my money in something I don't know that chances are, Dimitri, that I'm going to lose, right? So you'll see getting started, just close that out. And this is what everyone should get. Mackenzie, do you got that just to get feel for what's happening? Are you there? So Mackenzie, what we need to do first, and we're going to just do our exercise like our homework. So I'm going to lead you through it so we can do this, is we always want what are we doing? We're analyzing big data. We're analyzing historical data. I want to make a connection. So I'm going to go to connections and I want to go to end of day free. And it's end of day. Put that in your notes that it's always going to be end of day. We could have done other connections, but right now we're keeping it simple. We're learning to walk and not to run. Now mine was a little bit different. Dimitri, you had your green in a little place. In the VDI, it's right there on the bottom of the left. You'll see a green ball. Jared, do you see that green ball?
Yes.
Perfect. Now what we want to do is we want to visualize our data. When I want to visualize our data, I want to see it in a chart. I can run a strategy without a chart. I'll show you that in a little bit, but I like to see the data to give you a feel of what's happening. I don't like to have a complete black box. So now I'm going to go to new. I'm going to go to chart, just like I did a chart before. And what I suggest, I'm going to use Apple because we've used it before. I suggest that everyone else pick another symbol. So how do you pick a symbol? You can pick a symbol from the S&P or from the Dow 30 or from the NASDAQ 100 or from the S&P 500. You see that you have a lot of them. A lot of them repeat each time. I'm going to pick from the NASDAQ 100, doesn't matter. Or I can pick from the Dow 30. I'm going to pick Apple, AAPL. But what I'm telling you is you should pick another symbol. Ella, you okay? Now, mine says Apple Daily. Ella, do you have something under yours? What does yours say?
I already clicked into the like other thing. It's
Okay. Luca, what does yours say?
It says the same.
Daily. If it does not say daily and it says minute, change it from minute to day. That's essential. You need to have it say day. And notice it says days to load, it says 365. So I have, Beatrice, 365 days of data I want to analyze. And what do I want to do? I want to back test it. So right now I'm just going to say, okay. And now the chart comes up and you can see in the chart, you can see what I was doing before. Let me just make this larger. You can see in the chart, and I'm going to use this arrow. This is what I was trying to tell you, Dimitri. This crosshair, I'm going to make it local. You can see that what I want the automated trading system to tell me is when does it enter a trade and when does it exit. So if it was going long, wouldn't it be great if it entered right here and it exited right here, or it entered here and exited here? In this case, Dimitri, we would be telling it, we would hope it would say what? Short, right? Now we're going to implement a strategy to it. A strategy are built-in indicators that tell the system when to enter the trade and when to exit a trade. A strategy has rules that tell it when to enter a trade and when to exit a trade. So I'm just going to go right click and I'm going to go to strategies. I could have found it different ways, but right click, I go to strategies. And what am I looking for in this case? Dimitri? Which strategy? Dimitri?
Hello, can you hear me?
Pardon?
Sorry, it said my internet's unstable. What were you saying?
I know. So I want to choose sample MA crossover. So I double click sample MA crossover. So sample MA crossover appears on the lower panel. If you have any questions, either unmic yourself or put it in the chat. Lauren, how are we doing?
Good.
All right, now, this is what I should see among my properties. It says fast 10 because fast is less than 25. So it means every 10 days, it's going to take an average, and slow means 25. And then in order, Lauren, for it to execute, I have to enable it. If I do not enable it, the strategy does not get executed. So everybody make sure that you check enabled. Once I have enabled, you can go down, and that's all I need to see. I need to see the name of the strategy is sample MA crossover, the symbol, and enabled. And now I say apply. I click apply, and it says order confirmation. Although you have an order confirmation enabled, orders generated by a strategy will be submitted without confirmation. So that means, Lauren, that I have to be sure that this is what I want. Because if this were tied to a brokerage account, Lauren, it would trade automatically. And if I didn't want that, this platform would say, whoops, make sure. That's why an exclamation, confirming. It's not going to ask me every time. I say, okay. I say apply, I say okay, and now I see my system. Now I have two indicators here. I have two moving average. If you click on this gold up here, and I right click and look at properties, you can see that this gold is 10. This is my fast. Now, if I wanted, I could change my coloring. Let's say I wanted to just even change my coloring, and I wanted to make it dark turquoise and apply. You could see then that this turquoise is my fast, and the one below it, this green, which let me just click on that green. I'm clicking on it, and I right click and I go to properties. Let me change that color, because that color in this case, let me make it let's make it, I guess, chartreuse. Apply. Okay, you don't have to change it, but then I think we can see it. So notice, you see these dotted green? That means that over here, if I follow this, right here, it closed the position, and right here, it says on March 16th, it says it bought 100 shares because this went above my fast, went above my slow, it bought. And where did I exit? I closed my position here. So did I make money or lose money when it's dotted green? Lauren? We bought it at 152, and the computer sold it at 179. So did we make a profit or take a loss?
Make a profit.
Made a profit. Now, it probably would have been better had it gotten out here, right? But still, we made a profit. And now at the point, it also say, make a short at 179, expecting it to go down. It did go down, but where did it exit? It waited too long, and the dotted red means what? Made money or lost money? Lauren?
Loss.
Loss. Now we want to see, but that's just one trade. So now let's see what the performance was. If I right click, I go to strategy performance, I go to sample MA crossover. I want to go to real time and historical and get the performance. When I get the performance, this is my performance window. My performance is in dollars. Lauren, we don't want it in dollars, we want it in percent. So everybody, you see where it says displayed, we want it in percent because each stock trades at a different amount. So $1,000 for one could be like 2%, and $1,000 for another stat could be like 20%. So I'm going to change my summary, I'm going to change it to percent. And you see here, I have 12.65% for what I have. And this is the contention. Everybody put this in notes. When you're picking a symbol, you must have all trades be positive. If you don't have that symbol be positive for all trades, pick another symbol. So I know that this is good. So now what I'm going to do is I know that I made then 12.65%. What happened to my shorts then, Beatrice? Is it black or red?
Red.
Red. Is red good or bad?
Bad.
Bad. So I know my short trades, probably if I wanted to improve this strategy for Apple for this time, for these parameters, it'd be better if I just don't tell the algorithm, don't short, just do long trades. But we'll worry about that later. Now what I'll do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to export to Excel. When I export to Excel, I need to give it a name. The name, this is how you're going to name it. You're going to leave the Ninja Trader. It gives me the date. It gives me the time. And now you're going to say what strategy you use. So you're going to use the SMA. Everybody's using that. We're doing 1025. What symbol? APPL. You'll have another symbol. Overall, 12.5%, and your name. You're going to copy the name so I can use it later on. I'm going to copy this, right click copy. I'm going to save it. And I have it in Excel. It gave it the name already. I'm going to insert a line and I'm going to paste what I had saved before that tells me 12.5. I'm going to highlight I'll highlight that line of where I have that line. I'll highlight that line where I'll make it on my long trade. So I can do my long trades, I'll execute it. And then when I upload this, I'll tell it also what was the overall total net, what was the long trades, and what was the short, and how could I improve it? Patrice, how could I improve it? Remove the short trades. I'll save it, and I can save it then to my desktop, and then you can then upload it to your browser. You can upload it, you can send it to your email. This still will remain. I'm just going to do it for right now. You can do it to your OneDrive. You can do it browsing. I can just save it to my desktop right now. And then later on, I'll go with it. Questions? How did that go, Patrice?
Good.
That's the first assignment. Second assignment. Second assignment is, let's say we were working together, Patrice. And what did you use as a symbol? Did you
I
use that?
couldn't follow along because it was downloading,
Okay,
so I
fine.
haven't done, so I'll do it. after.
Okay, Dimitri, what did you use as a symbol?
We were using Apple.
Okay, you're using Apple. So try the next time, try another one. So how do I try another one? In this case, if I wanted to, I can close out, in this case, I can close out my Excel. What I can do, if I go back to my chart, and you see right down here is my chart. Let's say I wanted another one. I could do, for instance, Microsoft. I can just start typing, put my cursor anywhere, start typing. You see that? And I get Microsoft automatically. Now, if I wanted to go to strategy performance, sample, MA crossover, real time and historical, change it to percentage. And this is, if I looked at the percentage, this was all trades are red. Is that good, Dimitri?
No.
No, so I'm not going to use Microsoft for that. So I'll go back again, and I might as well use Apple. If I go to something else, and let me see, if I go to NV, let's go to NVIDIA. And let me right click. Where do I go? Strategy performance, sample MA crossover, real time and historical. Does this look better, Dimitri? It's 71%.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you see that? That's a winner. Questions? Dimitri?
No.
Okay, now I finished this. I'm going to close it. I'm going to close. Everybody close your chart. And now what I want to do, I'm going to close my performance. And now I'm back to my new chart. Now what I want to do, instead of Dimitri, me and you picking out stocks, I want to go through all of NASDAQ 100. And let's say you want to go through all of S&P 500. What would you have to do?
When you
Try
mean go
out
through,
each one and
okay.
do this and check each one. Do you want to go through 500? And do I want to go through 100? I can tell you what I don't want to do. I don't want to do that. Everybody understand, Patrice? I don't want to go through 100 different stocks or 500. So everybody follow me now. I want to go to new strategy analyzer. You see that? New strategy analyzer. And I want them to basically, I want to see if it comes up. And then what do I want to do under new strategy analyzer? I want all of this now says 0. I want to back test. What type of strategy do I want, Dimitri?
MA crossover.
Sample MA crossover. I want to keep it at 1025, but this time everybody see under data series, it says instrument. I want to do NASDAQ 100 and I want to do all of 100 symbols. Rather than going one at a time, I want to do all of 100. So I want to select all. And so I have NASDAQ 100 last, and the type says minute. Is that correct, Dimitri?
Now you're gonna change it to day.
Now I need to change it to date. Look how everything's easy, Dimitri, when you know it, right? And this says it's year to date. I want to compare it from my 365. So I want to make sure my start date is September. I don't want to include commission. I'm not going to include. And now what am I going to do? I did NASDAQ 100. You could do even. So notice when I run, how many times is it going to run? Once? Twice? NASDAQ 100. How many times, Dimitri?
100 times.
100 times. I read the computer do it 100 times or 500 times or 5,000. This way I can take a drink of water. Now, this you may have some issues with, and we have to work on it. This, Dimitri, is a bug. Everybody know, once I do it back test, sample M8 crossover with an entire NASDAQ 100 or S&P 500, what I want to do is I want to go to summary percentage. You see that? There's a bug in here. So we're going to work around the bug. It's just because I've worked with this, I know what the bug is. Everybody go to summary percent and notice you see here, total net profits in dollars. I want it in percent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to currency. I made it dollars. And now I'm going to revert it again to percent and see if it works. Now I have total net profit percent. And now I can double click total net profit. These are all my losers. But look at this. MRVL, do you see that? Dimitri, that's even doing better than my NVIDIA. Look at also Tesla. So what would be interesting is to copy, knowing the top 5 stocks that was using that strategy was MRVL, SIRRI, NVIDIA, Tesla. And how can I bring it? And then if I do this Marvel, I can see I got 81%. Much better than my 12% of Apple for this type of strategy. And how do I bring it to export? Right click, and I can export my top screen. And it's going to be what? It's going to be SMA. If I could spell, it'd be good. SMA. And it's going to be 1025. And it's going to be the NASDAQ 100. And the top one was what? MRVL. And what was the percentage in this case? Do you remember? What was it? 81%? 81. I guess it's overall 81%. And what do I end it with? Your name, my name, somebody's name that did. Copy it. Save it. Insert. paste it, and save it again. And save it. I'm going to save it to my desktop. So let's save as desktop. You got it? Then I can highlight this area, right, of what it then. And notice here, these are all my fast and slow. We're running out of time, but what's interesting, the last one, I'm going to go over that second exercise, second part, but see how these say, Dimitri, 1025? Do you see that, Dimitri?
Yeah.
How about if I wanted to do 921? How about if I wanted to do 822? 722? Can you imagine all those different combinations? Would you want to do it by hand? I wouldn't. You wouldn't want to either. And if you wanted to, I'd say, my goodness, get a life, right? And here you could then put in rename. And you could even put the largest one, right, was MRVL, 81%. Wow. We could be on our yacht. File, save. So I'll give you a hint and then I'll go over it with you next time and maybe even on Friday. But what you could do, you see this on back test, you could do optimization, and you see this on fast and slow, Dimitri. You could give it, hey, I want to start off with, let's say, 5 and go to 10. And for the slow, let's say I want to do 15 and go to 25. You can make up numbers. And then what you could do then is the instrument, keep it in the NASDAQ 100, right? And make sure that it's a day. And now I ran, do you think it would run 100 times, Dimitri?
Probably more times to test the different types of ML
Yeah,
crossovers.
many more times. Why? Because it's going to do 10 and 9 and 8, all the different combinations for all the stocks. Look at this, 6,864 times. Unbelievable, isn't it? Crazy. And then you get a chart and you do the same thing. But and then if you really did many of them, right, much more, you let it overnight. We can go out to dinner. And you see here now what it is. It's all in percentage now. Now, if I did the total net profit, wow, NVIDIA at 6 and 16. I can't believe it. Look at this. $207. Unreal. And then I copy it to a spreadsheet, just like I did the other ones. So what do you think, Dimitri?
Interesting.
So that last one of optimization said, do all the combinations, and you can just even play around. Can you imagine? And then later on, using AI, you know what you could say is, hey, that's one strategy. Given the AI, go ahead and find me better strategies. You know what I want to do. What do I want to maximize in this case, Lauren? What do I want to maximize? My profits. So you had the computer do it. No, I don't need to be sitting there. And you'll be then basically like a co-pilot with it. And just think, when the AI systems get better and better, this is what I foresee, is really the AI systems will outshine. And all the AI different models will be competing with each other. And you'll be there being a co-pilot and then basically looking over these and making sure, for instance, that systems aren't down, right? That we don't have all those errors coming on and trying to get it faster, the executions. Questions? We'll have this due on Wednesday. Friday, I'm going to be online with you. So I'll help you if people say, hey, help me with my homework, help me with this practice session, help me figure out what's going to be in the exams. I mentioned before, everybody that has extended time frames for the exam will meet together. We'll be in the class together. So I'll give you the extra time. I've reserved the lab for a longer period of time, so there's nobody going to come in after us.
Professor, I have a question.
Sure, Miguel.
When will the study guide be available in Blackboard?
Probably Monday or Friday, this Friday or Monday.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Can you put an announcement in Blackboard?
Yeah,
when?
of course.
Okay.
I'll put an announcement when it's done. So we'll have this the study guide, and we'll go over next week. Come with your questions either on Friday or Monday, Miguel, with what questions you have. Okay. And we'll go over, there won't be any surprise. Hopefully I'll make it so there's no, we'll go over review so there's no surprises. What else? So I need to take attendance. Okay.
Where's the exam going to be then?
In SBA 204.
And on what day?
What?
What day?
October 9th.
Okay.
Time frame of the class. So be there at 5. You know what I mean? Don't be late. Okay. All right. What else? So we'll do that. Hi, Friday at 5 o'clock. I'll be online for a makeup session since I was out on Monday. So we can answer on any of your questions. Okay. So any other questions I need in this case, Lauren, to answer?
I actually just have one. Is this assignment that we just went over, like there's 2 that are due on Wednesday? Is it the
both
like,
of these that I
supposed to be
just
done
said?
as a
What?
Oh, okay. Well,
I finished
it
both
says in your
assignments now.
groups.
Well,
I know, I just
groups, what I want to do with the groups is this, Lauren, thank you so much. And I'll tell you everybody, what I want with the groups is everybody will do their individual work, but you can work with a group. And I would like for the symbols that everybody in the group do different symbols. And what your goal as a group is to get the highest total net profit as a group. Plus, you can meet as a group and say, hey, let's do this together. Everybody will have their own work, but this way help each other. Why sit there, in one little thing, you didn't click on the enable, Lauren, and you can be sitting there all day long. Still, the computer's stupid. It's not going to say, Dr. Rush, click the enable. Dr. Rush, you didn't change from minute to day. So that's a beauty to help each other. That's what I think what life's about, right? But the tests, Lauren, you'll be doing on your own. It's not a group test. Okay, you can study together, but it's not a group test. Okay, so let me share my screen. So we'll do Friday. We'll give me feedback on Monday. I know the feedback is everybody wants a study guide. And oh, the other thing, just so you know, now that we're here, let me close out NinjaTrader. I've saved my work, right? I want to do file save. I want to make sure that my work has been saved for Excel. I want to close out NinjaTrader. And also in SBA 204, NinjaTrader is also in the labs there too, so you can try it out there as well. Those computers we're gonna, and NinjaTrader is installed there, plus we'll be doing our tests there. So power. Click on power, click disconnect, and we're disconnected from VDI. We can close our remote session. We can go back, we can go to attendance. And I went over it pretty fast, but we have the recordings plus and check-in. Oh, I want to start checking. 4585. 4585. Stay with me if you have questions. The exam is October 9th in the lab in person. Anyone having special accommodations will also be with me there. So you can always ask me questions. Okay. So hi, did you come in late or what?
Yeah, just a bit. but-
Okay, so now you know that there, you know when the exam is October 9th. It's in SBA 204, the computer lab.
Okay. And what, it's just gonna be on like the chapters, right? It's not on,
There's an open-ended questions. I'll go over it next week. We went over some open-ended questions now, like
Yeah.
VDI, virtual data, the articles that you were supposed to read.
okay.
So
Okay,
for
thank you.
instance, are you seeing this? So for instance, right, there were some articles you were supposed to read. Did you see this on the announcements?
Yeah,
Basic
yeah.
those. So for instance, if I looked at those, right,
Mm-hmm.
basic algorithm, what's a trading concept, right? You can go through the video, right? What are the
How do students normally do on the exams? The first exam?
those that study do well, those that slack off don't.
Got it. Okay.
There's no surprises, but if you don't study and you haven't done the work,
But everything's gonna be on the study guide.
well, everything's gonna be on the study guide, plus I'll do a review, yes.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Okay, all
Have a
right,
nice day.
you
Bye.
too, ciao, ciao. Stop